This shit should scare you to activate. We're going to check it out.
I ain't gonna give in now, I just gotta live this now. I ain't gonna be man, I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it to town, cause I gotta be that king in their ring when I'm knocking them out when I'm back with the whip. Cause I am just up on the journey, just know that I'm just going insane.
Warriors, rise. Grand rising and good evening, warriors all over the world. First, I want to start off by saying thank you for the 100,000 friends all over the world. We're just light, love, and positivity, attracting each other with high frequency and love. So from my family to yours, I truly embody love and unconditional love for you. My name is Coach JB. I am the top health, mindset, crypto, and business coach in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind, and what gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Now, what should you be scared of? I say that because the public has been put in fear: problem, reaction, solution. Now, the very thing you're fearing, you have a solution for right inside of you. So I say this should scare you if you don't understand, not understand, under the power of somebody. If you don't understand that you actually have the power, the ability to take action and do something about it. Yes, this is going to be one of the biggest collapses in our human history, our living history, excuse me. This is going to be like the Great Depression. But remember, more millionaires were created in the Great Depression. And I'm going to show you on the back end why I'm not scared, because I'll tell you what's done in darkness comes to light. The things happening with Balenciaga, the things happening with FTX, all the darkness is going to come to light. You can't run from your darkness. We all have to face the maker, which is ourselves, creating the conscious awareness through our actions, behaviors, and what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. So you can make as much noise as you want in the marketplace, but guess what? You can't run from what you created. So the great news about that is you can stand back and understand or understand that you can change through your actions. So we're going to dive into this. So this is a thing that concerns me. We know the World Economic Forum was created in 1971 by Klaus Schwab. And at the exact same time, in August 1971, about 6 months later, President Nixon comes onto a regular television programming show and detaches us from the gold standard. So I'm going to take you through a conscious awareness of what's happening in the what do you want to call it? The conscious awareness space. Okay. Yes, we're going through a great awakening. We're moving from industrial to technical. That's a fact. Okay. You're not going to stop that. We're moving from the old archaic monetary system to a new monetary system. You're not going to stop that. So how do you move a large group of people, specifically 7 billion people in the world? I think it's 8 billion now. You don't just say, hey guys, move on over to blockchain, move on over to cryptocurrency. Problem, reaction, solution. Whoever creates the problem gets a reaction in the people. You get all the influencers talking about it and get everybody moving into the Coliseum. And then what you do is you move the Trojan horse in and they come up with the solution. Think about this, warriors. The solution is regulation. Your banks are going to be custodying your cryptocurrency. It's been the plan the whole time. As they told you cryptocurrency was a fraud, they're already setting up their infrastructure of blockchain. They're telling you cryptocurrency is a fraud. Yeah, the shit coins, the pump and dumps, but blockchain technology, they've been working on for a very long time. But let's dive into the point today. So World Economic Forum Chair Klaus Schwab declares on Chinese state TV, China is a model for many nations. Let me repeat that. Klaus Schwab. Now remember, Klaus Schwab brings people together in Davos every single year, the richest people in the world. And I showed you guys a CNN interview where the gentleman sat in front of Klaus Schwab and he said, wait a minute. Let me bring you guys back on here. You bring the richest people in the world together every single year, but there's never change. What? Problem, reaction, solution. Zero carbon. You're going to own nothing and rent everything and be happy. How do you get people to move into that? Problem, reaction, solution. I'm teaching you the game. So Klaus Schwab said that China is the model for many nations. Now, You need to understand, not understand, that China owns a ton of land in America. And guys, we own a bunch of debt to China. Do you realize that America's debt to income ratio is negative now? America as we know it is screwed, guys. We have more debt than we do have income. Our taxes are going to pay interest to foreign countries that we borrowed from to pay for these new bills that they keep bringing out, warriors. The American dream is dead. They destroyed it. We are all borrowing against our future selves, not only America, but humans. Think about this Christmas right now. What is everybody doing? They're borrowing against their future self to buy Christmas presents instead of being present with their kids in Christ's consciousness. We've been indoctrinated for a very long time. In 1971, Klaus Schwab created the World Economic Forum. In 1971, we detached from the gold standard, God's money, the earth, God, Christ, consciousness. And when we detached from God's money, that allowed America specifically through the petrodollar to control and manipulate everybody's wealth. Now, what's happening, and they're like, oh, crap. So when you take away the ability to use God's money to back your currency, you can control people any way you want. Well, they went too far with it. And I'm going to show you the solution. And it's going to be in a digital currency type of way at the end here. So he says the model is China. But let's take a look at what's happening in China right now as we're all focused on Balenciaga, which is disgusting. And we're focused on FTX.
Across China, citizens and police clashing in the streets. Law enforcement racing to contain remarkable shows of opposition to China's President Xi Jinping. Some in Beijing openly calling for him to step down. This woman saying we should end his dictatorship and Xi only cares about himself. Frustrations with China's super strict zero COVID policy prompting thousands to protest Xi and his Communist Party while demanding freedom and denouncing censorship.
The zero COVID policy has been a disaster, both economically and politically inside China.
Asian financial markets were down in early trading on news of the rare China protest and supply chain concerns. At Foxconn's largest iPhone plant, police in hazmat suits seen coming to blows with protesters last week, following reports of workers upset by delays in bonus payouts and the company's handling of a COVID outbreak.
Okay, so that's what Klaus Schwab is referring to. I'm not saying he's referring to the lockdowns and stuff, but he says China's model is for many nations. Now, China's model has a social credit score, that basically this type of stuff, they can lock you down. But here's what's happening, warriors. The people in China are awakening to their Christ consciousness. The power of love is overtaking the love of power. And here's how I know this is happening. You can believe this or not, but let me share with you how my Christ consciousness brain works. This is why Russia, China may be preparing for a gold-backed currency, but experts assure the US dollars is the safest currency today. This was on October 29th. It's the safest currency today because the petrodollar is still, all oil is still traded in dollar. But as everybody detaches from the petrodollar, okay, the dollar's strength because of interest rates is destroying other countries. So what's happening right now is the rich are getting much richer through technology, through moving their money into the United States or into the US dollar. And then they're going to dump just like they do anything else. They're going to pull their profits when they're ready. And the American dollar is going to dump while inflation's high and interest rates high. And the middle class is going to get destroyed. And then you're going to need a hero. You're going to need a universal basic income. You're going to need a way to survive. Okay. So it's time to get your shit together. It's time to get some cash flow going. It's time to cut out your frivolous spending, put some money on the sidelines because asset prices are going to be extremely cheap next year. And this could be your one opportunity to get yourself out of this enslaved system, living paycheck to paycheck. You have to learn how to make money work for you. You are not to be a slave to money. You are not to be enslaved to borrowing against your future self. We have to change into our Christ consciousness, understanding that you are the vibrational frequency and you are attracting or detracting money back to you. Okay. So let me get back up. Let me get off my soapbox here. Okay. So this is really important. Okay. I talked about Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum, 1971. He wants us in a China-based system. Now remember, BlackRock, Larry Fink is on the board of trustees. The largest asset manager in the world is on the board of trustees to move the World Economic Forum's mission forward. Okay. And Klaus Schwab is over there touting saying that we want China's type model for all nations. But this is what I want you to understand around your cryptocurrency. Russia, China may be preparing for new gold-backed currency, but experts assure the US dollar is safest, okay? Now, we're going to listen to Peter Schiff. Now, Peter Schiff is against, he's always bashing cryptocurrency. Now, when Jamie Dimon and people like Peter Schiff bash cryptocurrency, they're speaking about non-utility currencies. But listen to what he has to say about a gold-backed digital currency. Listen closely. He's fully against crypto. He bashes it all the time because of things like FTX. He's just listen to what he says.
Taking a little longer.
And talk to me about precious metals, silver and gold, the price action, whether people should hold them or not. And then, of course, I got to ask you about crypto after that. So go ahead. Tell me.
Well, look, gold and silver are real money. They are the most viable alternatives to the fiat monetary system that we have now. And if people want something that can be used as a store of value, as a unit of account, and as a medium of exchange, gold is it. You could use silver too, I believe, but gold is something that has functioned as all three in the past, and it can function as all three in the present and in the future. A lot of people think, well, no, we should use Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not going to be able to be a reliable store of value, nor will it really be a viable medium of exchange or unit of account due to its volatility. But its lack of inherent value means that it can never be a store of value. But where I think there is some room is with blockchain and that technology, because you can certainly have a cryptocurrency backed up by gold, and you could transact in that, and that would be both a store of value and a efficient unit of exchange and a medium of exchange rather, and unit of account. So that could happen. Whether the governments allow it to happen, we'll see. They may try to prevent it, because that would be a real threat to the fiat-based system we have now. But if you remember, before there was a Federal Reserve, how did currency come into existence in the United States? It was created by private banks that operated all around the country. They issued their own note currency, and all of it was backed by gold.
Boom. Boom. Okay. So that's what Russia was talking about. The video I showed you on Monday, Putin is talking about privatizing the central banks, getting rid of this third party. Think about what's happening. Hotels to Airbnbs, taxis to Ubers, all third parties. You're going to not have title companies anymore. Peer-to-peer transactions. The way they can do this is going back into a gold-backed monetary system done in a digital currency type of way. So Putin is calling for blockchain-based international payments. The Russian president criticized Western sanctions and urges for the system independent external infrastructure interference. So basically, because what we did is we jacked them up with the SWIFT system as soon as they invaded Ukraine, right? So there is a really cool battle going on. I don't know if it's cool. I shouldn't say that. A wild battle going on. And here's why I think we're going back to a gold-backed currency. Now, this is from Bahel Capital. Now, this is from, if you saw, I interviewed the gentleman from there, Jimmy Valet, and he's the one that sent to the Federal Reserve on the value of XRP if it is deemed a security or they try to take it from us. The value of it, I think he said $37,500. You can watch that interview by typing in Jimmy in the search button. But this is a document they put out. Okay, I want to read this paragraph to you. As a legacy global banking system fails, there is a need to assist poor yet resource wealthy nations. Key, poor but resource wealthy nations, collectively emerging nations in their transactions to a new digital economy. The process of valuing the vast natural resources and precise minerals, gold, diamonds, cobalt, oil, gas, coca, is the resource commodity assets in a place within emerging nations, and using the value of such resources commodity assets to collateralize newly issued resource commodity asset-backed currencies issued by and for the benefit of the collective sovereign of the people. Such emerging nations will result in real, dramatic, and positive improvements in the realized wealth of the people. Two transformative circumstances that only recently became available and apparently respective are: the only way we can do this is through ODL, on-demand liquidity hub, offered by Ripple Labs, Ripple, providing on-demand liquidity to otherwise liquid currencies and digital asset markets pairs using the digital currency XRP. Okay? Think about that. That's why I'm so bullish on XRP and Ripple. I'm not pushing you to go invest in that. What I'm saying is I understand the real world liquidity solve that XRP has. And that is why the SEC went after Ripple, one of the most well-run. Think about this. FTX, Gary Gensler met with him 6 months ago. Nothing happened. Okay. Jay Clayton is consulting for cryptocurrency funds. All these people, Bill Hinman, they went after the most well-run, capital-rich company in cryptocurrency. Wake up, warriors. Think about that. What a great risk to take, right? What a great, not financial advice, what a great risk to take. The most well-run cryptocurrency company is being attacked by the SEC. Think about that for just a moment. Man, if I had a couple dollars, I might throw $1 in there to see what might happen, a 50-50 chance. It's a much bigger chance than that. Imagine a world, warriors. What's happening is, I'm going to go back to 1971 with Klaus Schwab. A bunch of very left hemisphere of the brain, people who don't know thyself, who are very insecure people, wanted control of people. And so what's happening is that the system went too far. They printed too much money. The system doesn't work anymore. It's about to collapse. And the way they can fix it is they can go back to a resource-rich monetary system that creates an even playing field and gives access. But here's the thing. Here's the other side. There's always a catch. That gives access to every single human being, all 8 billion people, access to the monetary system through an asset-backed currency, God's money, but then it brings all 8 billion people into the system and they can tax everybody's money in a digital type of way. There's a lot of money not in the system. So there's always a catch, right? So they're okay going back to a asset-backed currency, God's money, because they can bring all the money into the system and they can tax all your money and they can fix all the problems that they created. Problem, reaction, solution. All right. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If there's somebody having trouble understanding this space, just send my videos to them. I think I do a great job of making the complex simple and coming from a loving place, right? So I have no judgment against any of you guys. I believe in God. I follow the life of Christ. I'm non-religious, and I love you exactly the way that you are. So I appreciate you. I love you. Don't get in the Coliseum, guys. A lot of people are being pulled in the Coliseum getting drunk off the wine. Remember, Jesus was famous. Pontius Pilate was infamous. Warriors, rise, and he was looking for attention.